Hey, how you doing? We're gonna see what if Naruto and Anzu. This is part 1. And before getting into video, I request you to check the author of this fanfic and show some love and support. Name of the story is The King of Games by Iruka. Do check it out. All details in description. Please leave a like, share, and consider subscribe. Let's get into the video. You fail. Naruto clenched his fist as he felt the ropes around him being cut. Jonin instructor Kakashi Hatake glanced at the three of them. Sask and Sakura will return to the academy. You, Naruto, are to report to the Hokage Tower Administration's desk on the 2nd floor. You will not be a ninja. How you became a genin even is wonder. Naruto nodded, numb. He wanted to rant. He wanted to scream. He had tried so hard, and Kakashi just crushed his dreams. Why? Naruto asked as the Uchiha and his fangirl walked away. What's that? Kakashi asked, bored. He didn't care for the QB container. He relished in the abuse he got to dish out and the bonus of failing him. Why can't I go back to the academy? I tried so hard. Kakashi decided to speak frankly. Because no one wants you to be one. You'll never be accepted. Your taijutsu is a joke. You have no skill in jinjutsu, and will not even speak about your lack of skills with ninjutsu. You don't belong in the noble field of the ninja. I'm filing my report thusly. Naruto looked down. I did more in this stupid test than the bastard Sask and Sakura-sage. Kakashi laughed. You think flailing about like you're having a spasm means you did something? You need to get real, Brad. You're nothing more than a burden to this village. Resources are wasted on your stupid pranks and the time it takes to catch you to clean them, not to mention the manpower the Hokage wastes on keeping you out of trouble from the villagers. Kakashi hated the time when he was ANBU and forced to rescue and watch the blonde boy. I was a fucking captain, and I was forced to watch this thing as it paraded about wearing the image of my former sensei. Naruto was fighting to keep the tears back, but it was getting harder and harder with each word Kakashi spoke. Now, Uzumaki, report to the Hokage's tower, and I'll be there to file my report after making sure that the academy finds a suitable team for someone of Sask's caliber and possibly a team where Sakura will work with that she isn't a detriment to. Kakashi vanished in a leaf shushin. Naruto, finally alone, broke down sobbing. I'll never be accepted. They all hate me. He thought it repeated in his mind over and over. His tears fell to the ground as he collapsed to his knees and his body shook with heart-wrenching sobs. Sarutobi watched as Kakashi appeared. He saw the look in the man's eye, and he instantly regretted not watching the test. Report, he ordered. The other instructors were waiting as well. Team 7, consisting of Sask, Uchiha, Sakura Haruno, and the demon brat. Hatake, I've spoken with you before about this. Use his name. The Hokage said, cutting over Kakashi. Fine. Naruto, Uzumaki, have failed. I have sent Sask, Uchiha, and Sakura Haruno back to the academy to be sorted with the next available group of students. And Naruto? Iruka asked from where he was acting as the Hokage's assistant for the day. I told him not to bother applying again. He has nothing that will make him a ninja. I told him not to bother, and he can report to the tower later for assignment into a job class. The Hokage was pissed. Beyond pissed. The killing intent coming off him slammed into the room full of jonin, and it brought them to their knees. How dare you, Hatake? The Hokage snapped. If you've done anything to that boy, I will have you assigned to permanent D-rank missions for the rest of your ninja career. If I let you live. The Hokage rounded his desk. I take it you vented your spleen on that boy while you had the chance. Kakashi nodded. It was hard to breath. Sarutobi snarled. Iruka, why yes, Lord Hokage? The scar-bearing Chunin said. Fine, Naruto, bring him here. He then turned to the rest. Dismissed. The Hokage knew that if any of them stayed, he would need to replace Jonin. He looked at Kakashi, who was still on his knees. You better pray I can fix this, Kakashi. Why bother? The masked Nin asked, the words coming to his lips hard as he found it hard to speak. Because you just crushed Minato's son's dreams. What? Kakashi asked, his single eye widening. But Naruto is Kushina Uzumaki's and Minato Namake's son. Minato sealed the QB in his own son no less than an hour after his wife's death. Wife? But I married them in secret. Minato went out of his way to protect Kushina from his enemies. both here in Konoha and outside the village. Only I, Jiraiya, and Rin knew. Rin? Kakashi's eyes widened at the mention of his missing teammate. Why wasn't I told? Kakashi asked. Why should you be told? The Hokage asked. I remember your reaction when I showed you Naruto hours after Minato's sacrifice. Kakashi winced. He tried to kill the baby. Had not the Hokage and Jiraiya been there, he would have succeeded. Kakashi looked down and realized why he'd never been told, and it made him feel even worse. Iruka looked everywhere for Naruto, the top of the monument, the training grounds, the ramen stand. What a time for my bloodline to fail me, he thought. He finally looked for Naruto at the blonde's apartment and when seeing the amount of graffiti on the walls and the smashed door. He rapped on it, and when he heard nothing, he popped the lock. He stopped in the doorway, seeing the damage. The living room and kitchen looked totally trashed. Naruto? He called out. Moving further into the apartment, he saw evidence of fire and more graffiti. He's had it bad. Why didn't I ever know? Iruka felt sick of not checking on the blonde. I didn't really see him until the Mizuki incident a couple days ago. He entered Naruto's bedroom, and turning on the light, he winced. The dresser was knocked over, and clothes were scattered all over the place. Iruka was turning to go when he saw something that stopped him. On Naruto's sleeping roll was an envelope atop Naruto's Hitaite, the one he gave him after beating Mizuki. Naruto wouldn't have left this behind. Iruka thought as he picked up the envelope and headband. He looked around and saw the pictures Naruto had been proud of were smashed on the floor. Did Naruto do this? Or was someone lying in wait for him? Iruka wondered as he left the desiccated apartment, fear blooming in his heart at the thoughts of what could have happened to the blonde. I best get this to the Hokage. Iruka thought of the envelope that was addressed in Naruto's messy handwriting to the Hokage. Iruka felt his stomach drop, as he'd been unable to find the blonde for the first time since he started chasing him when he became his academy instructor or his regular times as a chunin. Please be okay, Naruto. Don't let what Kakashi said to you force you to do something that could be dangerous. Sarutobi looked at the letter for the third time since Iruka had brought it and Naruto's headband back. He couldn't believe it. Dear Hokage, I guess I should address you properly at least once. I've decided that Jonin Kakashi Hatake was right. I do not belong in Konoha, and I should accept the fact I will never be allowed to be a ninja. It's okay, I've come to terms with it. I should have seen it the first 2 times. Hell, even when Iruka-sensei put his Hitaite on me after I stole the scroll from Mizuki team. I guess it's time. No one will ever see me as anything but the QB, and I will never get a fair deal in Konoha. I'm tired, Aji-san. Tired of the hate, tired of the beatings, tired of coming home to find the roach-infested apartment vandalized. I'm just so tired. So, I'm leaving. Since I never was a ninja, I can never be marked as a missing nin, and as a civilian, well, who cared? You and old man and his daughter at the ramen stand were the only ones to actually care. Iruka did after the scroll incident, but it was too late. I'm leaving. Face it, Aji-san, where could I get a job in Konoha? Who would hire me? I'm not even allowed to shop for food or clothes. Could you see me working anywhere in town fairly? Take care of yourself. You were the only family I knew of or had for as long as I could remember, and even that wasn't much as the village always came first over the cries of a lonely child. I might come back someday to visit. Know that I'll miss you. Tell Iruka-sensei he can have his headband back. I'm sorry I was a lousy student. Tell old man Tucci and his daughter Ayam. I'll miss them and their wonderful ramen. Tell the rest of Konoha to kiss my ass. They never saw me, and they never knew me. And now, I hope they all rot in hell. Goodbye, Aji-san. Naruto Uzumaki. Beneath the boy's signature was a chibi Naruto. He's gone. He's left Konoha. Sarutobi nearly panicked. He wrote something on a scroll and sealed it. He then summoned a monkey. Find Rin and give this to her. The summoned monkey nodded and vanished in a puff of smoke. She'll find Naruto and watch over him. She's my only hope for gaining that boy back to Konoha in the future, if ever. Sarutobi looked at the stack of papers. He's the only one who can take this job from me. Miles away, Naruto Uzumaki, with a simple pack slung over his shoulder, walked the road. He walked out the gates of Konoha. The gate guard waved and said good riddance. While Naruto's response was to give the Chunin the finger before running into the bushes while the man swore after him. Naruto kept the kunai that were thrown as they were in better shape than the ones he salvaged. See, already off to a better start. The blonde thought. He stopped at Tanzuka town and bought some newer clothes. I like orange, but that was my old life. He thought buying tan cargo pants, a black t-shirt, and a new jacket that was like his old one, but it was black as well. Shopping had been an experience for him as he'd bought new clothes and food at reasonable rates, and had plenty of money left over afterwards. His goggles were around his neck, and he had slipped the kunai holster around his thigh. He pulled out a picture of him and the Hokage at the ramen stand from his pocket and gazed at it. It was a picture of his precious people, the only ones to care about him. He touched a finger remembering it. In the picture, Ayam kissed him on his cheek while he was wearing the Hokage's hat. The Hokage next to him, chuckling, and old man Tucci was behind them holding a bowl of ramen in each hand over their heads with a grin. Goodbye. I'll miss you all. He thought, touching the picture once more before slipping it into his jacket. He slipped off the beaten path, his eyes on the future. It was several days before he reached the port town. He found a ship that would take him beyond the mists, but he needed more money. Looking at the message board, he saw it was filled with odd jobs. See, this is what normal people do. They don't expect ninja to do everything for them. He thought as he found several small jobs he could do. And I could do more than one job at once thanks to the shadow clones. He thought of the painting and lawn care jobs. Taking several flyers down, he created clones and sent them on to do the assigned jobs. He then took a flyer for himself, and after finding the address, took up the task of dishwasher at a stand. The pay wasn't much, but it promised a place to sleep as well as 2 meals a day. I'll get money and take the first ship out in a month. He thought after learning that the ship that went to the world beyond the mists that kept the elemental nations separated from the rest of the world. The stand he found out was going out of business in the week, and he had to find another job, which wasn't hard. He worked for a woman that created fireworks, and the pay was well since the product had the off chance of exploding. Kahaku, as she was called, showed him that she'd lost her right arm when she first started when she made a batch too strong, and it exploded when her brother had entered the shop smoking. A stray ash had set the whole thing off. Ha ha ha! I was lucky. All I lost was my arm, my hair, and had light burns over half my body. She told Naruto as he packed a rocket. The two were friends, and despite his clones, Naruto found the other jobs didn't pay as much as he liked since he had to rent an apartment and food. The amount I pay for the apartment here wouldn't have even paid a day's rent back in Konoha. Just shows how much I was being screwed there. He thought. Kahaku was next to him. Her pipe was in her mouth, but not lit as she was working as well. Despite the pay, not many people wanted to work around things that go boom. So, you a ninja? She asked. Naruto shook his head. No, he said as he tied the fuse in and sighed. I failed the academy 3 times, and no one wanted me in my village, so I left. No one? Kahaku asked. Naruto shook his head. I've been an orphan, and I never knew my parents. The orphanage threw me out when I was 5. If it wouldn't have been for the Hokage, I would have died that winter. He got me an apartment and a monthly allowance, but it didn't matter. Why? Kahaku asked, and Naruto could see her curiosity. The villagers hated me, and for the longest time, I never knew why. Naruto said softly. But you know now? Naruto nodded. You don't have to tell me, kiddo. I'm just glad you're willing to help. She said around her pipe. May I ask you something? He asked. She nodded. Your pipe. Why do you carry it and put it in your mouth, but never light it? She laughed. It was my grandfather's, and it's a comfort. He taught me how to make fireworks. She said. When he passed away, I use it to keep him close. Naruto smiled at her look. Now let's finish this crate, and I'll buy you lunch. But only 3 bowls of ramen. She said. The first day, she'd found out how much he could eat. He downed 20 bowls when she offered to buy him lunch. Naruto laughed at this. Sorry about that again. It's just I hadn't found anywhere that made ramen as great as Ichiraka's, and I'll admit Gorochi's is close. Gohaku smirket. It's all right. I should really watch it when I offer something. She wrapped another tube. Truthfully, I thought you were going to ask me about my arm. Naruto shrugged. I'm curious, but it's cool. I mean, I never knew prosthetics could move like that. Gohaku smirket. They usually don't. Usually the surgeons can connect some of the nerves. I was lucky. I was saved by the greatest medics around, and she fixed me up, and she knew someone who could make me an arm. Naruto listened as Kahaku continued. Well, she managed to attach all the nerves, and I was amazed at the amount of control the muscle and nerve attachments had. She handed him another rocket to put in the box. So, you gonna stay around here? She asked. No, I plan on using the money I make to buy a ticket on that steamship. Naruto said. The one that goes beyond the veil. Kahaku asked, and Naruto nodded. I figure if I'm gonna have a fresh start, it should be as far away from my village as possible. He said, wrapping another tube after loading the powder. You certain you want to go? I hear the world there is vastly different than our own. Naruto nodded. I need to start fresh. Somewhere where they never heard of me. He said, editing what he was going to say with the word demon or QB. Kahaku continued to work and would look at the whisker marked blonde with her. Konoha, Hokage's office. Hiruzen Sarutobi scowled at the three biggest pains in his ass. The answer is no, he said. Hiruzen, we must do this. To let it run loose. His name is Naruto, and you can't place him in the bingo book. He was flushed from the ninja program by Kakashi Hatake. He said, and no one could question the anger in his voice. So he can't be placed in the bingo book, and that is for traitors and criminals, not for 16-year-old boy who is a civilian and left the village. Danzo, Koharu, and Hamura all looked at him, and he almost grinned at the frustration radiating off all three of them. There was a knock on the door, and two people he did want to see entered. Iruka, please wait, the Hokage said and looked at the pains in his ass. This meeting is over. You will not issue anything on or about Naruto Uzumaki. You do, and I will have the three of you executed. Am I clear? They look like they swallowed something foul. Leave, the Hokage ordered, and once they did with a glare at him, he sealed the door and activated the security seals. The person with Iruka removed the Umbu armor and mask. Thank you for coming, Rin. I'm sorry I had to remove you from your mission, but things here have gotten very bad. The woman nodded. I've been away for so long. I asked Iruka about Naruto, but he didn't tell me anything. What happened? The Hokage sighed as he hadn't really said anything in the message he'd sent for her, and then he'd sent Iruka to escort her and give her the armor and mask to wear to hide her identity. Naruto hasn't had a good life. The Hokage began and stopped when he felt Rin's anger wash over him. You promised me. You promised me if I took this mission, Naruto would be safe, would be raised with care. Tell me everything. Now. Iruka was frozen as Rin glared at the Hokage, who shifted in his seat and spilled his guts. From the day he conned her into taking the SS rank mission until Naruto leaving Konoha. He showed her the letter, one he'd read over and over again since that day. She scanned it and scowled. Kakashi. She growled and looked at the Hokage. What has been done about him? He's training the Uchiha under the supervision of Guy. He's been given a strict schedule to teach him by, and nothing more or less. The only reason he's doing that is because the council pushed for the Uchiha not to be held back a year while a team was formed. Rin scowled. I see. The village kissed the Uchiha's ass. I suppose Fugaku is proud. The Hokage winced. The Uchiha clan is dead. I'm surprised you didn't hear about it. She scowled. My target didn't allow his women out of the house. Servants did the shopping, and we were banned from the second floor. I managed to collect a lot of intel, but I won't be able to go back. I broke the collar to come here. The Hokage saw the light burns around her neck and knew her report would be something to read, but that would wait. I want to be released from service. Rin said, surprising him. I need to find him and bring him back. The Hokage started to say, wrong thing to do. Her killing intent put Iruka on the floor, and the Hokage gripped his desk. Let me make one thing perfectly clear. I will go and find Naruto, and I will do what I know his parents wanted and not only tell him about them, but I will train him if he still wants it and will protect him from anyone that means him harm. She put the mask and armor on the desk and pulled out her ID. I was listed as dead, so this is a formality. I can say one thing. If Naruto does come back, it won't be to stay. This village has done him and his father's wish a disservice. She turned to leave. Rin, wait. The Hokage called, stopping her before she got to the door. He pulled out a scroll. In this is his parents' jutsu library, as well as the Namake's fortune. I had it removed the day Minato died, as many on the council were planning on stealing it. She took the scroll, as well as a recent photo the Hokage had taken with Naruto. Good luck, the Hokage said, and tell him I am sorry for failing him. Rin nodded and left. Iruka looked at the Hokage. You don't want her to bring him back? The Hokage sighed. She's right. We have no right to bring him back. His whole life? Iruka nodded. He'd used a hinge to go around as Naruto for 3 days. What he'd learned had sickened him. He'd remembered who they were, and then with Anko from the interrogation department and a squad of Umbu, with the Hokage's orders, began to arrest everyone who had overcharged and attacked Iruka while he was disguised. I wish her luck and hope she finds him well. He said, Me to my boy. Me too. The Hokage said, Port Town. Kahaku smirked as Naruto looked at the supplies. Are you certain? I could. Kid, you helped me meet my deadline as well as numerous extras for the shop. This is the least I can do, she said, patting him on the back with her prosthetic hand. It had been a month, and he'd enjoyed his time with the strange woman. You got your ticket? She asked. Yeah, right here, he said, patting the inner pocket of his jacket. His pack held clothes, travel rations, and his pay Kahaku had gotten converted to gold bars since the money was different in the world beyond the mist, and he would have to get the gold exchanged. You know, I think a lot of the shops around here are going to miss you, kid. You kept things light, friendly, and did awesome work. Naruto scratched the back of his head. Ah, it was nothing, he said sheepishly. I just treated customers how I would like to be treated when I shop, and went from there. Kahaku handed him a package. What's this? He asked. Smoke bombs, minor explosives. She gave him a glove that he recognized as the one she would wear to create a spark to light fuses. You remember how to use this? She asked, and he nodded, putting the ring with the flint and tinder on his thumb and forefinger of his left hand. I can't take all this. You can and will. Use them for defense, and there's some for enjoyment as well. She grinned. If you were just a few years older, she said with a grin. Naruto shook his head. Shameless flirt. He said, You bet you're sweet as I am. Kahaku said with a grin. Give me a hug, brat. She pulled him into a spine-cracking hug. He allowed it and was wrapping his own arms around her when he jumped and glared at her. Watch it. No playing grab-ass. She laughed and hugged him tighter. Take care, Naruto. I'd hate to hear you got hurt. Send a letter every so often. He nodded and backed away after she released him. You take care, he told her before joining those boarding the ship. I will, Kahaku said softly. In the month he'd worked for her, he'd been hardworking, fun and energetic, and never complained. Wish there were a million like you, she said, and waited until the boarding ramp was pulled up and the ship left the docks. It was on the horizon before she turned and headed back to her house and shop, wiping away the annoying tear. Damn dust in my eye, she muttered as she walked the streets. Already the town seemed quieter, less cheerful without the blonde. Whatever village he was from, they were fools for treating him like shit and tossing him aside. I hope someday I can have a kid like him, she thought, and stopped seeing a woman in front of her shop. Oh, she said, and Kahaku saw she had short black hair and was wearing simple traveling clothes with a pack over her shoulder. I'm closed for the day, she said. That's okay. I was just looking for someone. A boy, 16 years old. Rin said, pulling out the picture of the Hokage and Naruto. She showed it to the woman. Kahaku looked and saw it was the blonde she'd just put on a ship. Cute kid. Sorry, never seen him before, she said, and turned to let herself into the shop. Rin sighed as she tipped her wicker hat. I really need to find him. I've been gone a long time, and I returned to our village to find him gone. Are you sure you've never seen him before? Kahaku looked at the woman's stance and the look in her eyes, and it was the eyes. They showed sorrow and concern. Let me see the photo again, she said, and looked at it. I just saw him board the steamship to the world beyond the veil. They already left port, and there won't be another one for a month, she said. Damn it. Rin cursed. She turned to go and make arrangements when Kahaku spoke again. If you're looking for a place to stay, you won't find any. The festival is starting and all the inns are booked. Rin cursed again. I have a spare room, and I'll charge you far less than one of those overpriced thieves. Why? Rin asked. Because, Kahaku said with a shrug. I knew someone who would do anything for anyone, and you need help till you can find that boy. Thanks. Steamship. It is the 15th day aboard the ship, and Naruto was content with the books he'd bought and was also studying the 3 school books he'd stolen when he was denied access to new books in Konoha, and the books he'd been given had been gutted of anything useful. He saw where the teachers had tried to mess him up and scowled as he thought of all the people who tried to keep him down and push him into the gutter. I'm glad I'm out of there. I've not been attacked once nor called demon since I've been gone. He thought of the merchants he'd met and the smiles they'd given him. The items he'd bought were new and the food was fresh. It was a new experience being outside of Konoha, and it had solidified his decision to not look back. He had a letter and mailed it an hour before boarding the ship. Aji-sen should have it and know that I am gone. I hope he and Old Man Ichiraku and Ayam-chan will forgive me. He would miss them, but 3 people who had lives of their own could not ease the pain he had been in while he lived in Konoha. I knew Old Man Ichiraku gave me a discount on the ramen. Naruto thought as he'd eaten with Kahaku several times, and he saw the amount it cost. He had learned to stay at 5 bowls since then, and the fireworks maker had him eating healthier too, and he found there was a wide range of foods he now liked. And candy. Rock candy, caramel, there are so many things I was denied in Konoha. He thought. His eyes went back to the book he had bought. It was about the outside world. So many things sounded interesting. Duel monsters. Sounds like a cool way to settle things. He said reading the recent history, and the more he read about the worldwide game, the more he liked it. But it'll be a while before I can get money to buy cards a dual disc. He thought as he made his list of things he'd do. First thing is to get a job and a place to live. He thought of the gold bars that were safely secured and wrapped in the bottom of his bag, and that never left his back. He hid it with a hinge, so it looked like his jacket. He read up and learned the languages and smiled, and was glad that the old man had taught him the basics in several when he was younger. He made it a game, and the better I learned, the more ramen I got. Naruto thought, some of the tech looks awesome. Cell phones for one thing. And the technology used around dual monsters is something. KC is one of the best, biggest contributors. Naruto read up about Seto Kaiba and his brother, along with Pegasus Crawford, the man behind the game, as well as the information about Yugi Muto, the king of games, who won the title at Duelist Kingdom and reconfirmed it during Battle City, set up by Kaiba Corporation. Shaking his head, he sighed. It's a dream that will have to wait. He thought putting the book about the game away and picking up the language book. He had a lot to do, and they would be in port tomorrow. Kahaku's firework pavilion. Rin packed the boxes and turned the sign around after the last customer had left. Stretching her back, she was amazed that the place did as well as it had. The festival had been something to see, and she wondered if Naruto had ever gotten to enjoy one, but she doubted it. She'd finally learned from Kahaku that Naruto had stayed here for the month and worked several jobs around the town. When Rin asked her why she lied, the older woman told her about how Naruto had been so shattered and alone. It had taken 2 weeks to get him to open up about his life and how his old village had treated him. She and the other merchants had agreed that if anyone came looking, they were going to be sent on a wild goose chase. Then why tell me? Your eyes. Kahaku said after a moment. Your eyes show that you care. When you sit in your room at night staring at the picture. The woman sat and pulled out a jug of sake. Ripping the cork out with her teeth, she took a swig. The look in your eyes, I had that look when I thought I lost my little brother. He's all right, but I didn't know that for years. Kahaku took another swig. He's fine, and you'll catch up to him. He plans on getting the gold bars exchanged and finding a place to live and a job. Rin sighed as she looked at the horizon. It would be 2 more weeks before the ship returned, and she was saving up all the money she made and getting it converted for Beyond the Veil. Kaku had been a help by giving her room and board free as long as she worked the shop every day. So, you gonna tell me about yourself? Kahaku asked after drinking some more. I was a genin under Naruto's father. My clan kicked me out when I was 11 because I couldn't bond with any of our family's canine companions. The clan head, my uncle, kicked me out the day I became a genin. Rin took the jug and allowed the alcohol to burn its way down her throat. Minato-sensei was loud, brash. At times I swear the man was an idiot. But in battle the man was a savant. Rin smirked as she recalled the man who moved her into his home and gave her a room to stay in. I grew up with him as a father figure, and when he met Naruto's mother Kushina, they didn't kick me out, they gave me a home. Rin looked back at the horizon. I trained to be a medic. I was a skilled thief and trap master. Rin looked at Kahaku. When Sensei and Kushina married, I was there along with Minato's own sensei, and the Hokage married them. Neither of my teammates knew. Kahaku listened as Rin told her about Kakashi and Obito, the death of Obito, and her transferring the newly awakened Sharingan to Kakashi when Obito had died, saving their silver-haired teammate. The arrogance of Kakashi as time went on. When Kushina told me she was pregnant, I was excited as her. Rin shook her head and pulled out the photo of Naruto and the Hokage. The day he was born, the QB attacked Konoha. Rin said and Kahaku raised an eyebrow. Minato-sensei knew you couldn't kill a Bijou, but he created a special seal to hold the demon. But he needed a baby, as the baby's chakra coils could grow and adapt to containing and absorbing. So moments after his son was born, his wife dead due to a hard labor, he went out and used his own life to seal away the QB into his own son, making him a Jinchuriki. A what? A human sacrifice. His dying wish was that Naruto was to be seen as a hero. Sadly, none save myself Jiraiya, and the Hokage remained in Konoha and knew Naruto was the son of Minato. The villagers swore he was the QB and tried to kill him. Kakashi tried to kill him hours after our sensei's death. Would have if Jiraiya and the Hokage hadn't stopped him. Where did you go? Kahaku asked as Rin took another drink before giving the sake jug back. I was sent on a mission that very night. It was a deep cover mission, and all would think I was killed during the QB incident. The Hokage swore to me Naruto would be cared for, and I thought he could keep his word. I underestimated how little power he had once he took office the second time with the death of Minato-sensei. Kahaku shook your head. Anyone who spent 2 minutes with the kid could tell he was no demon. Excitable, loud, brash, but he's got a heart of gold. Rin smiled. He's like his parents. So what are you going to do when you catch up to him? The fireworks maker asked. Tell him about his parents, explain my absence, and hope he lets me be in his life now. Aren't you a ninja still? Kahaku asked. Rin shook her head. I resigned when I learned of what happened with Naruto. I grabbed all I owned, emptied my account, and grabbed whatever I could that belonged to Naruto's parents and came straight on his trail. How did you find him? I mean, he looks the same, except he's wearing very little orange now. Rin smiled and pulled out a necklace. A dot on the inside moved towards the horizon when she held it up. Before I left him with the Hokage, I made a tracking necklace with a drop of his blood. If the stone breaks, it means he's dead, and an image will form from the mist inside with the blood to show me who did it, and I will avenge him. Kahaku whistled. You ninja, always coming up with new things. Just think if you applied it to normal jobs. The kid used his clone technique, and the shop owners loved him. He was a workforce unto himself. Rin smiled as she read the file she'd lifted from the Hokage's office before she left. She'd also visited Kushina's hidden vault, as well as Minato's, taking everything and sealing them away into scrolls. The fools never deserve you, Naruto, she thought. You learning the Kage Bunshin in 3 hours proved that. She looked at the horizon once more and thought of all she would say to the blonde boy who looked like her sensei, and from all she'd learned acted like his mother in many ways. Pier. Naruto looked at the docks as the rest of the passengers had already left. He shouldered his pack and slowly began to walk. The famous battle city. I wonder if I'll get to see any duels, he thought as he walked. He saw numerous flyers and the city was teeming with people, many talking or just hanging about. Naruto got to see a duel as a kid younger than him fought against a guy with a deck of warriors against a variety of bugs. Naruto watched for a bit and sighed, wishing he could join in, but he needed to find a place to sleep and a job. He passed by the more pristine buildings, many sporting the KC logo, and many sported another logo, but he wasn't certain what it meant. He saw it was getting darker and slipped down an alley for a shortcut. I really need a map, Naruto thought. He'd read that Battle City never slept and apartments were cheap as was housing. I'll need to find a bank. I doubt any are open this late at night, he thought as he walked. Hearing a sound that was very familiar, he peered around a corner and saw a group of toughs around a man in a suit and long silver hair. Gentlemen, if you're dissatisfied with the duels, then you should take it up with the judge. Don't give us that. You made him, a tough said. I did. But if you don't know how to play properly, perhaps you should take a workshop offered by the Kaiba Corporation. I hear they have a beginner's class, the man with the hair said. Naruto thought the man sounded far too sophisticated to be in this part of town, but he had read that people from all walks of life played Duel Monsters. He saw the man's duel disc was lying on the ground broken, and the toughs were still wearing theirs. I could walk away. Naruto thought. It has nothing to do with me. For all I know, the guy cheated. Naruto watched as one of the toughs laugh. It was a laugh that Naruto knew well. It was the laugh of a bully that knew he had friends to help him and that no one was coming to help. Sigh. I just want to find a place to sleep. Was that too much to ask? He looked up at the sky and, shaking his head, pulled the kunai he'd acquired, leaving Konoha and forming the cross seal, focused his chakra. Mass Kage Bunshin. Hey, Dickless Wonders. Naruto called as his clones used chakra to walk the walls and stand above the bullies. The leader turned and saw Naruto. What do you want, kid? We're busy. Leave him alone. Naruto said. Why should we? You know who this is, kid? Naruto shook his head. Not a clue. But being a bully and attacking someone for no reason will only cause trouble in the end. We have a reason. A tough said. Naruto was amazed none of them sensed his clones, and not one looked up. The lousy cards don't do as they're advertised. Please. The silver-haired man said in an annoyed tone. You lost your duels fair and square. Just because you don't know how to chain attacks and traps together or the proper way to play your monsters is no one's problem but your own. This is about you losing a game? Naruto asked in disbelief. Shaking his head, he looked at the gathered toughs. I'll give you to the count of 5 to apologize and leave, or else. Or else what, kid? You gonna bite our ankles? The leader asked with a sneer. Naruto shook his head and sighed. Or else I'll kick your asses. The leader snorted. You and what army, kid? Naruto pointed up, and they followed it to see over 100 blondes looking exactly like the one standing before them. Me and my army. Naruto said. What the? Boss, am I drunk? Another thug asked. We ain't had anything all day. Another said. Shut up. The leader said. It's probably a hologram like with the monsters. Naruto shook his head and leapt to attack. He pulled his punch and was surprised the man still went flying. Man, they're weaker than a first-year academy student. Naruto thought as the others were soon put down by his clones. The man with silver hair looked at him with a raised eyebrow. Very impressive, my boy. Thank you for stopping them. No problem. Naruto said and went to pick up his pack. You don't have a duel disc? The man asked as Naruto's clones dispersed. Nah, just got in a port, and I don't have money, much less a place to live. Naruto said with a shrug. If you know where there's a bank, so I can exchange currency and find a place to stay, it would be helpful. Naruto said, My boy, I could do no less than give you a place to stay, but for saving me like that you must allow me to build you a deck. Not the free starter deck they hand out. No. That just simply won't do. The man walked around Naruto and looked him up and down. Tell me, my boy, has anyone ever said you give off the vibe of a fox? Naruto blinked. What do you mean by that? What the hell does he know? Cunning free. HM. The man brushed his hair aside, showing a patch. Yes, I've been inspired once more. Come with me. The man said, taking Naruto's shoulder and dragging him along. Hey, wait a minute. I don't even know who you are. Naruto said. Oh? The man seemed surprised, then smiled. Well then, allow me to introduce myself. I am Pegasus Crawford, the creator of Duel Monsters. Naruto blinked as he recognized the name from the book he'd read on the ship. Pegasus dragged Naruto a block where they were met by a limousine and several guards stepped forward. Sir, everything is fine now, thanks to my young friend here. Pegasus poseth. What is your name? Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki. The blonde said as the silver-haired man dragged him to the car. My walk was interrupted until Naruto here stepped in and dealt with the riffraff. Pegasus said. Naruto saw the guards exchanged looks. Now then, take us to the apartment. Pegasus said and smirked at Naruto. Naruto, my boy, you with my guidance will be a force in the game of Duel Monsters like only one person I've ever seen before. Morning arrived and Naruto stretched as he had slept one of the best nights he'd ever had. The bed felt like he slept on clouds. He rolled over and saw it was well after 9 in the morning. Taking the time to shower and put on fresh clothes, Naruto wandered around the penthouse. The roof was all glass, which lit up the room fully. There was comfortable furniture and even a few displays of art. Good morning, sir. Naruto turned and saw a butler. Master Crawford asked that you enjoy his hospitality as long as you wish. He is currently in his workroom. Thanks. Naruto looked at the man, uncertain. Breakfast on the patio. The butler said and gestured with an arm for Naruto to follow, and the blonde had to agree. I am hungry. He thought as he followed the man and saw that the penthouse had a patio as well as a beautiful garden. Naruto recognized some of the statues as replicas of Duel monsters. The fountain was a blue-eyed white dragon. He ate the literal feast and read the local magazine, which was full of Duel results from all over Battle City. He noted that the magazine came with booster pack, but left it alone as it did belong to Pegasus. The man had asked him several questions last night, and after bidding him good night, Naruto wondered what the man was planning as he wrote down several things and smiled as he muttered. Reading up on Battle City News, Naruto saw there was an ad for employment at a couple of stores and shops around the city. There were ads for apartments, but Naruto saw that the rent was negotiable, and he wondered what that meant. Reading the magazine that came out once a week, he read that new duelists were given a base deck and dual disc. They needed to register at one of the 5 card shops around the city. He also saw that Battle City didn't run on money. It ran on DP, or dual points, which were little gold stars. Naruto spent the morning reading the magazine and saw that several national champions now resided in Battle City. Raptor and the others sound like they specialize. The American sounds weird with her teddy bear. Then the local heroes. From his talk with Pegasus, the man admired Yugi Muto and his circle of friends. And he's not very fond of the Kaiba brothers. Lunch came and went and still no sign of Pegasus. Naruto watched some television, but it was either news or Duel footage. He watched a match between some kid with a blue arrow design on his head and using a deck of flying type monsters and healing and support take on a kid with warrior types and traps. It has drawn out fight and ended with the arrow-marked kid winning simply because his opponent ran out of cards. And he had 6,500 life points left while the other kid only had 2,350. Naruto was still intrigued by the game, and it seemed to rule the world as he saw a broadcast from Japan, and they not only had duels, but a show about a kid using dual monster cards to trap other monsters to build their decks. There was even talk shows about dual monsters and money, and dual points seemed to be acceptable credit. Shaking his head, he told the butler he was going for a walk and would be back later. He got lost twice, but he found a shop and got a book of rules and regulations. He was asked if he wanted to get a starter deck, but he said he'd be back later. He wanted to learn more about it before he got involved. He did find a bank and open an account and had the gold exchange for both money and dual points, along with getting a bank card and papers. Naruto found a park and saw kids playing the game. Many without the dual discs, but they used the public dual platforms. He watched and learned even more, and as the sun was setting, he headed back to the penthouse. He arrived to find a smiling Pegasus waiting for him with a suitcase and a huge grin. Naruto, my boy, I'm glad you returned. I've just come back from the printer, and you were the first one to get this special deck and a limited edition special card I made for you after our talk last night. Naruto looked at the man as he pulled out a deck and shuffled it before pulling out a card. Allow me to introduce to you the only QB no Kitsune card in existence, and it is yours. Naruto looked at the card, and deep in his mind something gave an approving growl. The image was of a ferocious 9-tailed fox with a full moon and a forest. The eyes blazing and the tail swinging wildly behind it. Pegasus smiled. I made special for you the Kitsune deck. Some of the cards are just reworks of previous cards but with the fox theme. He handed the card to Naruto, who was enchanted with the image. It felt right to him, and he looked at Pegasus. I can't accept this. It's too much. Nonsense, my boy. You saved my life. Building you a deck and teaching you to play is the least I can do. Pegasus said with a grin. Your dual disc will be here in the morning, and we'll take you to get registered after breakfast. Naruto took the deck, but his eyes kept going back to the QB card, and in his mind the spirit of the QB was pleased. Naruto looked at the deck that Pegasus had specially made for him in one night he'd drawn up and had printed the deck that was now sitting on the nightstand. For several hours, Pegasus taught him about his deck and answered questions and showed him the ins and outs of the Kitsune deck. Some of the cards will, of course, become mainstream, but there will be only one QB card, and a couple of the other cards in your deck will be limited editions with maybe 50 cards made worldwide. Pegasus explained. Naruto found the man's Toon deck annoying. He did get a kick out of the Toon monsters and admitted that Pegasus was a great duelist. Don't you play anymore? Naruto asked. Alas, I rarely have the time anymore. But that is fine. I do enjoy seeing others enjoy the game more than anything. Pegasus had told him. Pegasus warned him to guard his cards. There were people who would try and steal them or trick him out of his cards. And for heaven's sake, never allow anyone to hold your cards, even if you think you know them. Poor Yugi boy lost Exodia pieces, allowing others to hold his cards. They played for dual points. While Naruto got points, Pegasus just pushed them back at Naruto and called them learning experience. Naruto, sitting on his bed, reached out and picked up the deck. It would take him time to get used to the card game, but the cards like Fox Knight and others were similar to already existing cards. He drew a card and saw that it was the QB card. "What is it about you that calls to me?" he asked. With a sigh, he put the cards into the case and slipped them under his pillow. His head hit the pillow and he slipped into sleep, his right hand under the pillow, resting upon the cards. Mindscape. Naruto looked around at what looked like a sewer. It wasn't as bad as the sewer in Konoha. He knew that place firsthand as he used it to escape the villagers who wanted to hurt him. He saw that it looked like someone had recently begun to clean it up, and he wished them the best of luck. He followed the tunnel for some time and realized there were no ladders or cross tunnels thus far. "It's getting warmer," he thought as he followed the tunnel, which seemed to bend, and there was a downslope. He walked for what seemed like hours, and he came to a chamber which looked cleaner than the tunnels. There was a pool of water off to one side, and he saw a gate with a seal. "So, you've finally come to talk," a voice said from the shadows behind the gate. Naruto blinked as a pair of red eyes opened and looked right at him. Kahaku Fireworks Pavilion. Rin sighed as she closed the door to the shop for the night. "Not bad." She nearly jumped out of her skin and turned. "What do you want, Iruka?" she asked as the scarred Chunin stepped out of the shadows. "The Hokage asked me to check on you. I had a hell of a time picking up your trail, even with my Kekiai Genkai." Rin blinked. "You have a bloodline?" Iruka smirked. "How do you think I found Naruto all those times? I have the ability to sense and track. I used to be on Anzu before retiring and becoming a Chunin instructor at the academy." Iruka laughed at the look on her face. "Yeah, no one knew I was in Anzu except the Hokage and my former teammates and the captain. After most of my team was injured, and I left Anzu. I wanted to teach, and he needed to deal with his health." Rin shook her head. "Learn something new every day," she muttered. "So, why are you working here in a fireworks store?" "I don't sense Naruto anywhere near here," Iruka asked. Rin smirked at this. "Naruto's gone. He's beyond the veil. I'm working until the next ship comes in, and then I'm heading out after him." Iruka blinked. "What? He left the elemental nations? What do you expect?" Rin said. "His life here has been shit from the word go. I will say this, and you tell that old busybody that Naruto was treated better by total strangers and shown that not everyone is like those in Konoha. I've talked to people that got to know him here, and some of them know what he holds, and their reaction was, so what? They didn't give a damn. They saw a kid that worked hard and tried to make the best of it." Iruka looked down. "I know I failed him as a teacher. You bet your ass you failed him. You and every damn person in Konoha failed him. And when your time comes to stand before the Shining Ami, I pray that Minato-sensei is there and hears what Konoha did to his son and ignored his last wish." Rin went behind the counter. "Go back to Konoha, Iruka. I'll send letters every few months. But tell the old man, if Naruto doesn't want to come back, don't try and force him." Iruka stepped towards the door. "When you find him, would you tell him, I'm sorry for failing him?" He slipped from the door, and Rin sighed as she counted the money in the drawer. She stopped and sighed. "I'll tell him Yumino, but will he want to hear it is the question." "Mindscape, QB?" Naruto said. "Yes," the growling voice said from the shadows. "Listen, we're stuck with one another," Naruto began, but the fox in the shadows decided it wanted to speak first. "Listen to me, kid. You're right. We're stuck with one another. But more than that, I am bound to you and you to me. The Shinigami did a hell of a job." The QB still in the shadow paused. "I'm sorry how your life turned out. I've been awake a short time, and I've seen your memories. How the hell can you do that?" Naruto asked. A tail poked out of the shadows, but stopped before crossing the gate and gestured towards the pool. "I can see your memories when you sleep. It is my only real connection to the world outside. My chakra has flooded your system, as designed by the blonde that sealed me here. You have developed several abilities that will pass on to your children. The healing factor, enhanced senses, reflexes. That's well and good, but Naruto started, but the fox continued, cutting him off. And I have become your dual spirit. Say what? Naruto asked, blinking. The QB sighed behind the gate. This game, Duel Monsters, isn't new. It is old, older than I. In times past, it used to be used for domination and control. Shadow games where the cost wasn't a couple pieces of metal or whatever else. It was fought for control of kingdoms, and the cost wasn't marks or rankings. If you lost a shadow game, you lost your soul. Naruto blinked. That's duelists of old would make a pact, or a partnership with the spirit of their cards. I am yours. I will help guide you in duels, and if there is a shadow game, I will defend you. Naruto blinked. Why? As I said, we are bound. And if I am to continue to exist, then your life is important to my own. Yes, in ways it sounds selfish, but in ways this is a partnership that will be beneficial to you. Naruto thought it out. Did you influence Pegasus in any way in designing your card? The QB laughed. No, I didn't. That mortal can see things. I sense he was touched by a millennium piece. Either the eye or the what? Naruto asked. Nothing to worry about right now, kid. If they do come up, I'll tell you about them. Right now you need to learn how to duel and listen to this Pegasus. He's got insight to the game if he's the one who brought it back. Naruto sighed. Since I'm here, you care to tell me why you attacked Konoha? Not at this time, no. Maybe once we gotten along longer. For now, rest, you're going to need it. Naruto sighed and he felt himself slipping into sleep for real this time. Kahaku Fireworks Pavilion. Rin caught the box tossed at her by her employer. What's this? It had been a couple of days since Iruka's visit, and Rin had spent more time looking at the picture of Naruto and his cheesy fox-like grin. One of my contacts who used to live beyond the veil gave this to me. You're going to need to learn about the world you're going into. The kid got some books, but my contact said this is basically the way of life there. Rin opened the box to see a strange device and a couple decks of cards in a small bag holding gold stars. Rin looked at her. The device is called a duel disc. You wear it on your arm. The cards are called Duel Monsters. Rin picked up the book in the box and read the title Duel Monsters for Dummies. Lovely, she muttered. A kid's game. It's a worldwide phenomenon. Everyone plays it. They don't have wars there. They have monster duels. Rin looked the book over and sighed. Opening the book, she began to read. With thousands of cards to build, Battle City. Naruto looked at Pegasus. So, I just wander around the city and challenge someone to a duel? That's all you need to do. And my cards are registered? Pegasus smiled. I did that as soon as the first batch came off the press. You won't have any trouble, except for duelists who never seen your cards before. Meaning everyone. Naruto muttered. They'd spent the morning with Naruto, dueling a couple of Pegasus's employees to get the general idea, and they just registered him and got his duelist ID. You're not going to follow me, are you? Naruto asked, stepping away. Pegasus laughed. Naruto sighed and walked off. Pegasus looked at one of his guards. Follow and record any duels he's interested in and those he takes part in. Yes, sir. The guard said and wandered off. Sir, you have your 1 o'clock with the Chamberlain. His aide reminded him. Yes, yes. Work before pleasure. Naruto wandered around. His dual disc got some looks as it was midnight blue with orange markings. He clenched his fingerless gloved hand and wondered if he could go back and practice for a couple more days. He was wearing black cargo pants and a rust orange mesh muscle shirt under his leather jacket. His hair was spiked and his goggles were around his neck. He saw several duels taking place around as usual. He stopped at a cafe and bought an iced coffee while he looked at a paper he picked up. He marked several apartments that sounded promising. He was just about to read the daily duel results that were posted when someone stepped before his table. Nice looking dual disc you got there. I didn't think we could customize them. Naruto looked up to see a woman with short, spiky brown hair, a feather earring, and a battle vest. She had the standard dual disc, and her hands were on her skirt-covered hips. It was given to me as a gift. Naruto said, You know how to duel? She asked. Just started. Naruto admitted. She gave him a predatory grin. I'll put up 200 duel points to fight you. Naruto sighed and pulled out his pouch. Fine. He finished his iced coffee and folded the paper and slipped it into his jacket. Here? He asked. She nodded. I'm Aurora. Naruto, he said as he flicked on his dual disc and reached inside his jacket and pulled his deck out and shuffled it. It's time to duel. They both put their 200 duel points aside, and Naruto watched the meter activate 8,000. Naruto slipped his deck into the holder and then drew 5 cards. Aurora's LP, 8,000. Naruto's LP, 8,000. Since I'm the one who challenged, I'll go first. Usually we flip a coin or sometimes rock, paper, scissors. Aurora said and drew a card. Naruto looked on as she bit her lip. I'll place this card face down in defense and another card face down. She looked at him. Your turn. Before her was a face down monster card, and behind it either a trap, item, or spell card. Naruto drew a card and looked at what he had in his hand. He grinned as he put down a card. I summoned Vixen's brother for /1800/600 in attack mode and placed 2 cards face down. He said, placing the trap, magic, or item cards. The hologram shimmered, and a red-furred fox man with wings appeared with a spear. His tail waved behind him. He saw the look of surprise of Aurora's face at the appearance of a new monster. He went into strike. Vixen's brother attacked the face-down monster. Aurora smiled and nodded. I activate negate attack, trap/counter. She said, flipping the face-down card. Naruto's hand twitched, but he held off whatever he was going to do. Your turn, he said. Aurora, 1 face down. Naruto, 2 face down. Vixen's brother ATK/1800. Aurora's LP, 8,000. Naruto's LP, 8,000. He watched as Aurora drew a card and put another monster card face down. She doesn't have anything yet that can go toe-to-toe with Vixen's brother, but she might have something in her hand that needs a sacrifice. He thought as she looked at him. I end my turn. Naruto nodded and drew a card. His smile grew. I call forth Winged Vixen, 4/1300/1400. He saw Aurora looking on as the winged fox woman appeared and floated into the air. Naruto wasn't done. I activate the magic card Fox Hunt, magic, and bring forth Winged Vixen Sisters, 6/1950/2100 in attack mode. Aurora looked on as more of the winged fox women joined the first. What the hell? She asked. New cards that are coming out. Naruto said with a shrug. I have a friend who got me the first batch. Naruto said in explanation. I activate the magic/equipment card Cyber Shield, magic/equip, and apply it to Winged Vixen. Aurora watched as Winged Vixen merged with the cyber armor for /1800/1400. Naruto looked at Aurora. If you're wondering, a lot of the cards are just fresh ways on older cards. He told her, and she nodded. I see the resemblance to the Harpy Lady and others with these so far. She said, Aurora, 2 face down. Naruto, Winged Vixen's brother ATK/1800, Cyber Shield, magic/equip. Winged Vixen ATK/1800, Winged Vixen Sisters ATK/1950. Winged Vixen's brother, attack. Naruto said the hologram attacked one of the face-down monster to reveal Air Marmot of Nefariousness, 2/400/600. The beast was destroyed, but since it was in defense, Aurora escaped without damage. Naruto looked at her remaining monster card and called Winged Vixen Sister attack. The trio of winged fox women dove from the sky and attacked the other card, which flipped over to reveal another Air Marmot, 2/400/600. Once again, Aurora was spared damage, but her monster was destroyed. Naruto looked at her. Sorry about this. Winged Vixen direct attack. Aurora felt the tingling from the dual disc and hissed as she watched her life points drop. I put another card face down and end my turn. Aurora, 0 face down. Naruto, Winged Vixen's brother ATK/1800, Cyber Shield magic/equip. Winged Vixen ATK/1800, Winged Vixen Sisters ATK/1950. 1 face down. Aurora's LP, 6,200. Naruto's LP, 8,000. Both duelists ignored the growing crowd who saw new monsters. Aurora drew a card and smiled. Something good, I hope. Naruto said. Oh yeah, Aurora said. But for now, I put Giant Soldier of Stone, 3/1300/2000, in defense mode, and 2 cards face down, ending my turn. Aurora said. Naruto looked at the stone monster that was kneeling and knew it would take some effort to get around it. Aurora. 2 face down, Giant Soldier of Stone DF/2000. Naruto. Winged Vixen's brother ATK/1800, Cyber Shield Magic/Equip. Winged Vixen ATK/1800, Winged Vixen Sisters ATK 1950. 1 face down, Aurora's LP. 6200. Naruto's LP. 8000. Naruto drew a card. I summoned Mystical Fox Girl, 4/800/2000, in defense mode. Naruto said, and a blue-furred fox girl appeared. You got the whole fox thing going, I see. Aurora said. Naruto smirked. You ain't seen nothing yet. Naruto said, and looked at the 2 cards in his hand that he was planning on unveiling soon. I just hope Pegasus is ready for the amount of calls he's going to be getting. Shaking his head, he ended his turn. Aurora. 2 face down, Giant Soldier of Stone DF/2000. Naruto. Winged Vixen's brother ATK/1800, Cyber Shield Magic/Equip. Winged Vixen ATK/1800, Winged Vixen Sisters ATK 1950. Mystical Fox Girl DF/2000, 1 face down. Aurora's LP. 6200. Naruto's LP. 8000. Aurora drew a card and rearranged her hand. I put another Giant Soldier of Stone, 3/1300/2000, in defense mode and end my turn. Aurora. 2 face down, Giant Soldier of Stone DF/2000, Giant Soldier of Stone DF/2000. Naruto. Winged Vixen's brother ATK/1800, Cyber Shield Magic/Equip. Winged Vixen ATK/1800, Winged Vixen Sisters ATK 1950. Mystical Fox Girl DF/2000, 1 face down. Aurora's LP. 6200. Naruto's LP. 8000. Naruto looked at the card she had on the field, and he did a quick calculation and nodded to himself. I activate the card Forbidden Summoning, Magical Ritual, and sacrifice Vixen's brother and Mystical Fox Girl, and summon 4th Q, Be No Kitsune. 8/3100/400, in attack mode. Naruto said, flipping the face-down card he'd had on the field. Everyone looked on as a huge 9-tailed fox materialized on the field and towered over all. Aurora looked up. You gotta be shitting me. She was heard. The giant 9-tailed fox let out a monstrous roar. When QB is summoned to the field, he has the same effect as the Swords of Revealing Light, in that for the next 3 turns your monsters are locked in position. Aurora looked on at the fox. What the hell is that? Naruto smiled as he looked up proudly. That is the QB no Kitsune, a fiend/ritual monster. I need to pay a tribute next round to keep him. But for now, QB, take out one of those giants. Everyone watched as the 9-tailed fox let out another roar, and a tail/destroyed one of the frozen giant soldiers of stone, but Aurora was unharmed as her monster was in defense position. Naruto looked at his hand and put a card face down. I end my turn. Aurora. 2 face down, Giant Soldier of Stone DF/2000. Naruto. Cyber Shield, Magic/Equip, Winged Vixen ATK/1800, Winged Vixen Sisters ATK 1950, QB no Kitsune ATK/3100, effect 0/3 turns. Aurora's LP. 6200. Naruto's LP. 8000. Aurora looked at the cards in her hand, and with a shaking hand drew a new card. Naruto saw from here that it wasn't something she wanted, as she was basically trapped by the QB's effect. She put a card down and ended her turn. Aurora. 3 face down, Giant Soldier of Stone DF/2000. Naruto. Cyber Shield, Magic/Equip, Winged Vixen ATK/1800, Winged Vixen Sisters ATK 1950, QB no Kitsune ATK/3100, effect 1/3 turns. Aurora's LP. 6200. Naruto's LP. 8000. Naruto drew his card, and then Aurora watched as he discarded a card, and his life points dropped 1,000 points. What the hell just happened? She asked. I had to pay 1,000 life point and discard a card as tribute to keep QB in play. It's a one-time thing, Naruto informed her. The 1,000 points was fine now, but in a duel where he summoned the king of the Kitsunes late could spell disaster. It was a double-edged sword, as Pegasus explained it to him, and someone could mess it up with a spell card or a flip effect. QB, take out the giant soldier. Naruto ordered, and the second soldier of stone joined its brother in Aurora's graveyard. Naruto then had Winged Vixen do a direct attack, and Aurora's health dropped 1800, and the Winged Vixen sisters followed with another direct attack, taking another 1950. Aurora. 3 face down, Naruto, Cyber Shield, Magic / Equip, Winged Vixen ATK / 1800, Winged Vixen Sisters ATK 1950, QB no Kitsune ATK / 3100 effect 1/3 turns. Aurora's LP 3450. Naruto's LP 7000. I end my turn, Naruto announced. Aurora pulled a card and looked at it. I use a Pot of Greed, Magic, and draw 2 cards. She looked at what she pulled and sighed. I use Graceful Charity, Magic, and draw 3 more cards. She said, and then following the requirements of Charity's effect, discarded 2 cards. I put a monster card face down in defense mode and activate the spell card Red Medicine, Magic, and activate the spell card Swords of Revealing Light, Magic, and with that I end my turn. Aurora said, Aurora. 3 face down, Swords of Revealing Light. Effect 0/3 turns. Naruto, Cyber Shield, Magic / Equip, Winged Vixen ATK / 1800, Winged Vixen Sisters ATK 1950, QB no Kitsune ATK / 3100 effect 2/3 turns. Aurora's LP 3950. Naruto's LP 7000. Naruto smirked. So this is a waiting game now, he said, drawing a card. Aurora shrugged. I need time. Some of the cards you have are familiar, and I just want to take the time to figure out a strategy, and that means keeping that big boy stable while I think. Naruto smirked at what she called QB. What you think, Fox? He thought. Gur, beat her ass. She's wasting our time. The mental voice of the fox growled. It'll have to wait 3 turns. Naruto thought with a smile. While he couldn't attack, he could marshal his forces. He drew a card. I summon Fox Rider 4/1400/1200 in attack mode and end my turn. This is the part where things can go south. Naruto thought of the long absences of battle. Aurora. 3 face down. Swords of Revealing Light. Effect 1/3 turns. Naruto. Cyber Shield. Magic / Equip. Winged Vixen ATK / 1800. Winged Vixen Sisters ATK 1950. QB no Kitsune ATK / 3100. Effect 2/3 turns. Fox Rider ATK / 1400. Aurora's LP 3950. Naruto's LP 7000. Aurora drew a card, and Naruto could nearly smell her frustration as she ended her turn without doing anything. The cards in her hand probably needs tributes in order to come to the field, and with my removing the giants from the field, I kicked that idea in the balls. He thought as he drew a card. I put Arctic Fox 2/600/600 in defense mode and end my turn. Naruto said, and knowing that this was the last turn for the QB's effect to last. Aurora. 3 face down. Swords of Revealing Light. Effect 2/3 turns. Naruto. Cyber Shield, Magic / Equip. Winged Vixen ATK / 1800. Winged Vixen Sisters ATK 1950. QB no Kitsune ATK / 3100. Effect 3/3 turns. Fox Rider ATK / 1400. Arctic Fox DF / 600. Aurora's LP 3950. Naruto's LP 7000. Aurora drew her card and sighed. I use the spell card Final Flame, Magic, for a direct attack on your life points. Naruto went feeling the tingle and knew it wasn't bad as his life points dropped 600 points. I use the spell card Dark Magic Ritual, Magic / Ritual, and sacrifice 2 cards in my hand and the face-down monster and summon Magician of Black Chaos, 8/2800/2600, in attack position. Naruto watched as the spellcaster / ritual monster arrived on the field. He saw it look up at QB with a dark look. I also activate the spell card Book of Secret Arts, Magic / Equip, and equip it to Magician of Black Chaos, 8/30/100/2900. Naruto growled. With the current boost, it would be a mutual wipeout between QB and the Magician. He looked at Aurora and saw that she looked more relaxed now that she had something that could go toe-to-toe with QB in attack power. I end my turn, she said with a smirk. Aurora. 1 face down. Swords of Revealing Light. effect 2/3 turns. Magician of Black Chaos K /30 Book of Secret Arts, Magic / Equip. Naruto, Cyber Shield, Magic / Equip. Winged Vixen ATK /1800. Winged Vixen Sisters ATK 1950. QB no Kitsune ATK /3100. Fox Rider ATK /1400. Arctic Fox DF /600. Aurora's LP 3950. Naruto's LP 6400. Naruto drew a card and smiled. In his hand, he had a card that was going to ruin her day. Why is it I don't think I'll like what's coming? Aurora asked. Naruto shrugged. Smart woman? I activate the spell card Kitsune Tail Swipe. Magic. Aurora found out what that was when both her Swords of Revealing Light and Book of Secret Arts cards vanished. It's like the Harpy's Feather Duster. She said in realization as she saw that his monsters could now attack, and her magician stats were back to normal, and she saw that he wouldn't survive, and with him in attack mode she was boned. Aurora. One face down, Magician of Black Chaos ATK /2800. Naruto. Cyber Shield, Magic / Equip. Winged Vixen ATK /1800. Winged Vixen Sisters ATK 1950. QB no Kitsune ATK /3100. Fox Rider ATK /1400. Arctic Fox DF /600. Aurora's LP 3950. Naruto's LP 6400. You wouldn't destroy a lady on her third duel. Now would you? Aurora asked. Naruto put a finger to his chin as if in thought. Yes, sorry. But I need to win. He looked at QB. QB, take out the Magician of Black Chaos. The QB roared and the nine tails went on and struck the magician. It exploded in a shower of light, and with the difference in attack power, Aurora's life points took the 300-point difference, and she bit her lip as the shock hit her from the dual disc. Aurora. One face down, Naruto, Cyber Shield, Magic / Equip. Winged Vixen ATK /1800. Winged Vixen Sisters ATK 1950. QB no Kitsune ATK /3100. Fox Rider ATK /1400. Arctic Fox DF /600. Aurora's LP 3650. Naruto's LP 6400. I'm sorry, Aurora, but this match is over. Winged Vixen attacked her life points directly. Aurora winced as her life points took another hit, and she got shocked more as her life points dropped 1,800 points, leaving her at 1850. Naruto ordered Winged Vixen Sisters to do the same, and Aurora yelled out as the shock hit her, and her life points went to 0. Aurora. One face down, Naruto, Cyber Shield, Magic / Equip. Winged Vixen ATK /1800. Winged Vixen Sisters ATK 1950. QB no Kitsune ATK /3100. Fox Rider ATK /1400. Arctic Fox DF /600. Aurora's LP 0. Naruto's LP 6400. Naruto collected his cards and put them back into his deck and put that away while shutting off his dual disc. He looked at Aurora and knew from his losses to Pegasus how much that shock hurt. It was incentive for a person to win. He collected the duel points and slipped them into a separate bag and into another inner pocket. He approached Aurora, and when she looked at him, offered her his hand. Good duel, he said. She looked at his hand and straightened. Good duel? Were you paying attention? You kicked my ass. Naruto's grin faded. There's no reason to get mad. The hell there isn't. You come here with a special deck and think it's nothing. Aurora said, Hey, you and everyone else has the same chances to make a deck. As I told you while we dueled, that a lot of the cards will be released. Bet that Big Fox won't be. Aurora said. Naruto nodded his head at that. True. He's the only one in existence. But there are other cards like that as well. You just need to save it, Fox boy. Aurora said, putting her cards in the built-in holster, and turned to walk away. She stopped and looked over her shoulder. I'll put a deck together and next time I'll kick your ass. Naruto smiled. I look forward to dueling you again, Aurora. She walked away and Naruto realized she wasn't mad at him. She was mad because she hadn't built a proper deck. Naruto turned to listen as people clapped, and many were talking about the Fox cards, and many were planning on hitting the card shops. Naruto pulled the paper out and looked at it. As nice as Pegasus's penthouse is, I'm scared I'll break something priceless. Now, let's see, duel / rent? This I gotta see. He thought as he stopped to get a sandwich and soda to go. Who knew dueling makes me hungry? It's like being a ninja. Adrenaline and excitement all in a game of strategy. Walking down the street, Naruto whistled a Johnny tune as his life beyond the veil was positive, and the best thing was people weren't throwing things at him or calling him demon or monster. The duel/rent option had been fun. OL Baba and her spellcaster deck had been tough, but he ended up winning and only having to pay 100 DP a month. The apartment came stocked with appliances, furniture, and even some dishes. The only thing he had to buy was clothes, food, and he would be set. You like it? Baba asked. Yeah, Naruto said. The living room was rather large, and the balcony gave him a great view of the city. The kitchen was small, and there was only one bedroom, but it was nearly as big as his apartment in Konoha. He looked at her. Are you sure? Baba laughed. Child, Battle City was built for duelists. Domino City is a mile away, and many live there as well. I have a deal with the city. I can either charge $1,000 or duel points or duel you. The only reason you're paying 100 this month is mainly for paperwork processing. She laughed. If I duel you next month, I have a feeling you'll be getting this place for free. Naruto scratched the back of his neck. He wasn't used to being treated fairly still. Kahaku's actions to him before crossing the veil notwithstanding. Thanks, Baba. She waved a wrinkled hand. I like you, kid. You're honest, and I have a good feeling about you living here. She gave him the apartment key, and there were 2 other keys on the ring. The round one is for the mailbox downstairs. She explained. The other is for the roof. It used to be a garden, but I'm too old and none of the other 3 tenants care. Naruto smiled. You'll be the only one to have access if you wish. She said. He nodded as he was already forming ideas. Only 3 other tenants? He asked in surprise. The building had to have room for at least 10 if his apartment was anything to go by. A lot of duelists live at home still, and there are more up-to-date apartment buildings. Baba told him how her building had been here before they built Battle City around the village that had been there. We didn't have much, maybe a population of 500. She said, when Kaiba Corporation built Battle City around us, it changed everything and brought a much-needed aid to us all. Naruto thanked her and told her to remind him when it was time to pay or duel. I lose track of days. He explained. She chuckled and wished him well before heading back downstairs. Naruto needed to talk to Pegasus and get his bag. He looked around the place that would be his home and smiled. Crawford Penthouse. Naruto, my boy. How was your day out and about? Pegasus said he already knew, but it was polite to ask. Had some fun, won a duel. Naruto said after entering. I know. We got a lot of calls about the Kitsune deck. Pegasus said with a smile. Card shops are eager to get the new cards. Naruto nodded. I found an apartment. Pegasus smiled. You're not mad? Naruto asked. Not at all. I figured you would look for a place. You're always welcome here, he said with a smile. He handed Naruto a briefcase. What's this? Some cards. I've also gotten you a subscription to Battle City News, the Duel magazine, and Duel Weekly, which comes with 5 cards. Naruto looked at the man. Why? Pegasus smiled. Just helping someone who needs it. Naruto got the feeling that there was more to it, but accepted the help. Here, this is a cell phone. If you need help, call. My number is in the memory. It's paid up for a year in your name. I had one of my employees set it up for you. Pegasus explained. Naruto thanked him and left after getting his bag. Pegasus smirked and looked at the guard. I want all of his duels recorded. Yes, sir. Naruto's apartment. He stretched his arms and sighed. He had been in Battle City now for a week. Getting dressed for the day, Naruto turned on the TV. And in Battle City News, Naruto the Fox has continues to decimate opponents as his win over U.S. national champion Rebecca. Naruto shook his head. He'd been enjoying a nice lunch when Rebecca with Teddy had approached him and demanded a duel. They had a duel, and Naruto had been lucky in his draw and managed to sacrifice the cards in his hand to put QB on the field right away, giving the QB a defense of 1,000 with the 5 foxes in the graveyard. Rebecca had been shocked as QB steamrolled her monster, and in several rounds with a few more foxes on the field, he got the win. He collected the 1,000 duel points she had put up and walked away as she cried to Teddy about him being a meanie. Slipping his duel disc on, he adjusted his vest. Battle City was too damn hot for the jacket, and he bought a battle vest with an inside pocket for his cards, and he bought a pouch for the duel points he won. He had to admit he was taking to dueling like a duck to water, or like a fox in the hen house. Naruto thought, and heard the snicker in the back of his mind. QB loved duel monsters and gave Naruto mental pointers and even mock dueled with him in his mind. Grabbing his apartment keys, he locked the door behind him and wandered down the hall to the stairs. Morning, Naruto. Old Baba said. Hey, Baba. Naruto said. Any mail? He asked. She checked the box and shook her head. Nothing yet, but the mailman has been running late. She said. I think he's been either dueling while he's working or he's been watching duels while he's supposed to be delivering the mail. Naruto laughed. The city is duel crazy. He muttered. Well, I'm off. See you tonight, he said and waved to her as he left. Baba smiled. He's such a nice boy. She thought and hoped that he would make some friends soon. Naruto walked the streets of Battle City. Several diehard players were up and using the public duel stations to fight. Naruto got himself some coffee and stopped at the Clock Plaza. He liked the city early in the morning as it was quieter, and he used the time to stretch his senses out. Hey kid, looks like your fan club is forming. QB mentally teased him. He looked up to see a couple of the younger duelists wearing fox shirts. Don't you mean your fans, Q? Naruto sent back to the fox as it was the Nine Tails image on the shirts. You're right. Snort, they associate the fox with you. In a week you become a local hero. The QB sent to him. Shaking his head, he got ready as the first challenger of the day was approaching. Mr. Fox, sir. My name's Naruto. Tyler, I'm Tyler. The 12-year-old boy said. Naruto smiled. You want a duel? He asked the younger boy. Really? You would duel with me? Tyler asked in surprise. Sure, why wouldn't I? Naruto asked, flipping on his duel disc as the LP counter clicked up to 8,000. Because you're the fox, a famous duelist. Tyler said. Naruto blinked. Famous? I just started playing not more than a week ago. Tyler looked at him as if he was lying. My first duel was against a young woman named Aurora. Naruto said and showed his duel badge to Tyler. See, here's the date I started. The younger boy looked at Naruto in shock as he pulled his duel disc out of his backpack. I have to do this quick, I sort of skipped out of biology class. Tyler said as one of his textbooks fell from his bag and he gave Naruto a sheepish look. It's okay, Naruto said, pulling his card from the hidden pocket, and after shuffling them, he slipped them into the holder on the duel disc. Tyler he saw do the same. Stakes? Naruto asked. I only got 50 DP on me. Tyler said sheepishly. Okay, how about your 50 DP against? Naruto pulled out a small pouch. My 200. Tyler looked at him in shock, but nodded as Naruto smiled in encouragement. It's time to duel, Naruto said as he and Tyler did rock, paper, scissors. Naruto won, deciding to go second. Tyler drew 5 cards, and then during his draw phase, pulled a new card. A light. Here I go. I summon this monster in defense mode and end my turn. Tyler said. That was the thing with going first, you couldn't attack until the next round. Naruto drew his 5 cards and mentally smiled as QB laughed in his head. He drew his 6th card and shook his head. I put monster card face down and 2 more cards face down and end my turn. Naruto said. He was curious as to what Tyler could do and didn't want to crush him right away. Tyler. 1 face down. Naruto. 1 face down monster. 2 face down. Tyler's LP. 8,000. Naruto's LP. 8,000. Tyler licked his lips and drew a card before entering the first main phase. He pulled a card. I summoned Beaver Warrior for /1200/1500 in attack mode. The armor-wearing Beast Warrior appeared, and Naruto wasn't worried yet. I flipped my other card up to attack mode. Tyler announced, and it revealed Nekigel number 1, 3/1100/900. Tyler smiled and pointed. Nekigel number 1 attack is face-down monster. Naruto let it happen, and the card revealed Mystical Fox Girl for /800/2000, kneeling with her hands in prayer. Tyler groaned as it did nothing, and he ended his turn as neither of his summoned monsters had the power to take the blue-furred fox girl down. I am my turn for now. Naruto drew a card and looked at his hand. I could do it now, but I have a feeling the kids got something else. Good idea to hold off, it's still early. QB mentally agreed. I summon Vixen's brother for /1800/600 in attack mode and place another card face down. 3 cards were in the backfield. I have Vixen's brother attack your Beaver Warrior. Tyler winced at the shock of his life points, getting the difference as his Beaver Warrior was destroyed. I end my turn. Naruto said, Tyler, Nekagel number 1 ATK/1100. Naruto, 3 face down, Vixen's brother ATK/1800, Mystical Fox Girl DF/2000. Tyler's LP, 7400. Naruto's LP, 8000. Tyler had already drawn his card and put a card face down in the monster zone. And he put a card in the backfield as well face down. I moved Nekagel number 1 into defense position and end my turn. The younger boy said, Naruto drew a card and added it to his hand. He took one of the monsters and summoned it to the field. I summoned Fox Rider for /1400/1200 in attack mode and have him go after your Nekagel. Tyler sighed and flipped a card. I used negate attack, trap/counter. He said and relaxed as Naruto's attack was stopped. I end my turn then. Naruto said, Tyler, Nekagel number 1 DF/900, 1 face down monster. Naruto, 3 face down, Vixen's brother ATK/1800, Mystical Fox Girl DF/2000, Fox Rider ATK/1400. Tyler's LP, 7400. Naruto's LP, 8000. Naruto watched as Tyler drew a card, his own eyes going to the 2 cards in his hand. If I play these, it might be overkill. He thought as Tyler put a monster card face down and ended his turn. Naruto drew his card and made a decision. I put down Forbidden Summoning, Magical Ritual, and sacrificed Vixen's brother and Fox Rider to summon 4th QB no Kitsune, 8/3100/400 in attack mode. He looked across the way and saw the look in Tyler's eyes as the QB rose above the field, 9 tails waving wildly as it let out a roar. Wow, Tyler said. Naruto agreed. He nodded. QB attack Nekagel number 1. Tyler was thanking whatever gods he prayed to that he had put her in defense mode as his monster was destroyed. Naruto shook his head and ended his turn after reminding Tyler about the QB's special ability, and he wouldn't be able to attack for 3 turns. Tyler, 1 face down monster. Naruto, 3 face down Mystical Fox Girl DF/2000. QB no Kitsune ATK/3100. Effect 0/3 turns left. Tyler's LP, 7400. Naruto's LP, 8000. Tyler drew a card and sighed as he ended his turn. Naruto drew a card and discarded it and felt the tingle as his life points dropped 1,000 points as he made the sacrifice to keep the QB on the field. I used Pot of Greed, Magic, and draw 2 more cards. Naruto looked at the 2 cards in his hand and smiled. I use another Pot of Greed and draw 2 more cards. Looking the 3 cards over, he smirked as he really wanted to test the cards out, and now he could. I used Polymerization, Magic, to combine Time Fox, 2/500/400, and Vulpix, 3/1200/700, to create 1000 Vixen, 7/2400/2000, and summon her in attack mode. The image of a fox with a clock on its belly merged with a cute little 9-tailed fox with reddish fur and cute puppy dog-like eyes. When the polymerization took place, they were merged, and in their place was a 1,000-year-old kitsune nearly as big as the QB and sporting white fur. I lay down Fox Kingdom, Magic/Field. Tyler watched as the area was overlaid with the illusion of a field and looked at Naruto. It raises the attack power of all fox-like creatures by 600. Naruto said, and he laughed at the whine that Tyler made. 1000 Vixen, take out his face-down monster attack. The giant white 9-tailed fox lashed out with her tails, and the face-down monster exploded without ever being seen, letting Naruto know that it hadn't even been worth worrying about. Now that is out of the way, QB attack. Tyler screamed at the jolt from the dual disc as his life points took the direct hit. I put my last card face down and end my turn. Naruto said as he looked at Tyler, hoping the kid was alright. Tyler, Naruto, 4 face down, Mystical Fox Girl DF/2000, QB no Kitsune ATK/3700, effect 1/3 turns left, 1000 Vixen ATK/3000, Fox Kingdom, Magic/Field. Tyler's LP, 3,700. Naruto's LP, 7,000. You okay? Naruto asked as Tyler was trying to steady his breathing still. Yeah. Wow. That's a hell of a shock. Tyler said. You want a couple minutes? Naruto asked. And no, I need to finish this. Tyler said. Naruto watched as he drew a card. I used the spark, spell, and attack your life points directly. Naruto winced as 600 points were deducted from his counter. He ignored his face-down cards, deciding to let Tyler get in a hit on him. And I summoned Giant Soldier of Stone 3/1300/2000 in defense mode and end my turn. Naruto almost felt sorry for the kid. He had nothing or he needed a major tribute to get his cards. Drawing his card, Naruto blinked and entered the first main phase of his turn. I use Book of Kitsune Arts, Magic/Equip, and give it to Mystical Fox Girl, which raises her attack and defense by 300 points. Mystical Fox Girl, 4/1100/2300. I keep her in defense mode. Naruto said and looked at Tyler. Sorry about this. 1,000 Vixen, take out the Giant Soldier. The Vixen did her job and the Stone Guardian was destroyed in a display of light. Now, QB attack his life points. Tyler winced as the blow landed and the last shock was just as bad as the previous one, and he dropped to his knees as his LP display went to 0. Tyler, 0 cards. Naruto, 4 face down. Mystical Fox Girl DF/2300. Book of Kitsune Arts. Equip QB no Kitsune ATK/3700. Effect 1/3 turns left. 1,000 Vixen ATK/3000. Fox Kingdom. Magic/Field. Tyler's LP? 0. Naruto's LP? 6,400. Naruto deactivated his dual disc and slipped his cards away. He walked over and offered his hand to Tyler. Thanks, the younger boy said and handed Naruto the DP. I wouldn't take these, but I made the wager, Tyler said, and I get to tell all my friends I dueled the fox. Tyler looked at his watch and grabbed his bag. Thanks, I need to go. Naruto watched the kid leave and wondered even the kids are friendly. He must. Food. Naruto chuckled at his dual spirit and decided to get some coffee and look around the city some more. Sidewalk Cafe. Naruto relaxed as he looked at a nearby monitor as Rex Raptor defeated another person. We could crush him. QB said, looking at the dinosaur monsters with disdain. I'm sure we could. I just want to learn the ropes and get more comfortable with my cards. Rebecca surprised me. QB's snort rang in his ears as he finished his coffee and stood to throw it away. As he was rising and turning, he accidentally bumped into someone. Oof! That someone was female. Naruto looked at the girl he'd knocked to the ground, her coffee cup several feet away. A pair of brown eyes were looking at him from behind the bangs of brown hair. I'm sorry, Naruto said to the girl, who was his age. He reached down to help her up. Let me buy you a new coffee to apologize. The girl blinked, and Naruto realized she was looking at his whisker marks. Have birthmarks, he said. I'm Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki. The girl realized she was staring and blinked. T. Gardner. And it was my fault. I've been rushing around all day and wasn't watching where I was going. Naruto made sure she was steady by holding her arms. Oh, you're a duelist, T said. Naruto shrugged. Just started a week ago. You? T shrugged. A little bit. I want to be a dancer. She looked away and Naruto saw the look in her eyes, a look he knew well. Want to bend my ear? I'll buy you a new drink and a couple of those fresh cookies. He offered. T blinked and saw his offering smile. Please. It's either talk to a pretty girl or go back out there, and I know I prefer the first choice. T blushed at being called pretty and nodded. Fine. I must warn you, it's a boring story. I'm sure anything you have to say is far from dull. How about this? You tell me your tale of woe, and I'll tell you mine. T grinned as Naruto offered her his arm. I must warn you. I can talk your ear off. Naruto chuckled. Something about her? QB kept quiet. Kahaku's fireworks pavilion. You have everything? Kahaku asked Rin. Yes. I swear you're worse than a mother. Rin said with a mock sigh. She in fact was going to miss the woman who'd helped her. You have your deck and dual disc? Rin patted the duffel. I'll work on my deck some more once we're at sea. Are you sure you won't let me pay you for this? Nope. You just find Naruto and give him a noogie from me. Rin nodded. The deck and disc and everything had come from a person Kahaku knew, and she just handed it to Rin. I will. Are you sure you don't want to come with? Kahaku bit on her pipe. Are you kidding? Adventure ba. Excitement ba. I have enough things to worry about blowing myself up. Traveling beyond the veil, I'd rather blow myself up again. Rin nodded and accepted the hug from the woman as the steamship's boarding ramp lowered. They don't get any downtime, do they? Kahaku laughed. The amount of money they get paid, they don't mind. The crew switch out every 3 months to avoid burnout. Rin looked at her. I'll send a letter after I've had time to get ashore there. Good luck. Rin nodded and boarded the ship. A letter she left with Kahaku was going to be sent to Konoha 3 days after the ship left. Kahaku once more watched someone sail away. She realized the dock master was calling for her. Mail, he said, and she accepted the letter and a couple of magazines. Kahaku was written in the familiar script that she recognized as Naruto's. Ripping open the letter, she scanned it once, then blinked. Reading it again, she opened the magazine to the page marked and blinked at the title. Battle City Invaded by Fox Duelist. The subtitle was just as eye-opening. Rare QB card seen destroying competition. She started to read the articles and Naruto's script in the margins. Hey Kahaku, my first few duels made the local paper. I'll send you more when I can. Here's my address. She shook her head and looked at the steamship on the horizon and smirked at what Rin was going to find. The mail was late getting out, and they sent on a machine called a helicopter to catch up with the ship. Take care, and I'll send you more in time. It was signed, Naruto Uzumaki, the Fox Duelist, formerly of Konoha. Knock him dead, kiddo. Kahaku said, and headed for the tavern to share the article with those that Naruto knew and had come to care for him during a short stay here. I hope Rin finds him easy enough. She thought looking at the city map Naruto had included. She said that he marked on it where he lived and smiled at how popular he seemed to be already in the city ruled by dueling. No way, T said in surprise and laughter. Oh yeah, I was a prankster of the highest order in my village. Naruto said. Wow, and you came here? T prompted. I needed a change, and a friend suggested it. He said with a shrug. He edited a lot of information and changed him getting kicked out of school instead of being kicked out of being a ninja. So, what about you? What about T. Gardner? She shrugged. I go to Domino High with several of my friends. When not hanging with them, I worked numerous jobs to save money for a dance school in New York. Dance school? T blushed. A dream, but after visiting my aunt over the summer, I'm back here. Naruto caught the note of sadness. What's wrong? T shook her head and looked across the way. Come on, let's do something fun. My treat. She grabbed his hand and dragged him from the cafe and across the street before he could utter any sound of protest. Naruto found his attention on her hand in his and how it seemed a perfect fit. Shaking his head, he saw she was leading him into an arcade. Video games? I'm shocked, he said. T looked over her shoulder and gave him a grin. Naruto smirked and once more found his eyes traveling down her yellow shirt covered back to the shapely figure concealed by the black skirt. He noticed her own dual disc and smacked himself for not seeing it before. He saw she kept her cards in the carrier on the disc and was wondering what card she played with. Once inside the arcade, Naruto blinked as his eyes adjusted from the bright light of day to the dimly lit interior of the arcade. The dim lights and hundreds of arcade game screens were the only illumination. The sound of quarters being exchanged filled the air, along with the sounds of electronic battle. T led him past all the games to the back where there was a wall screen, and he saw several pads on the ground. You ever play? T asked. Naruto shook his head. Never danced before either. At this he saw her grin and knew she was going to give him one hell of a workout. T went and exchanged DP for tokens while Naruto studied the pad. He watched other play down the way and knew he could do this. T came and slipped the tokens in and grinned. Ready? As I'll ever be. Naruto agreed, and T started the game. For as mobile as he was, Naruto found the first time difficult, as he would forget where to put his feet. Not too bad. T said. Ready for the next level? Naruto took a steadying breath and nodded. Let's do it. They spent the next 15 minutes dancing on the pads, and Naruto improved with each round. When they finally stopped, T dragged them towards the juice bar. What do you have? She asked. Banana smoothie? T nodded and came back to their table with 2 smoothies. They relaxed and T teased him. Hey, I got better as I got used to it. Naruto defended himself. T nodded. You did. You used to be on a sports or gymnastics team? She asked. Naruto thought about it. I guess it was. We did all kinds of obstacle courses and sparring. Wow. I know I'm not a fighter. She gestured around. I prefer simpler things, as you can see. Nothing wrong with that. Naruto said, sipping his smoothie. I know you're dying to ask. T said. About? Naruto feigned ignorance. You want to know how my trip was? T said, and Naruto nodded. But I thought it was still too soon to ask. T smiled. It's okay. I feel like I can trust you. My friends don't know yet. I'm kind of embarrassed to tell them that I failed the audition. What happened? Naruto asked softly. T sipped her smoothie and sighed. I froze. The instructor started to ask me all kinds of questions, and I couldn't answer them. She sighed. Apparently, they want someone built like a 9-year-old boy. T shook her head. And starving oneself is not a means to an end. So, now what will you do? Naruto asked. Well, as I said earlier, I'm attending a local dance studio. Just because some snobs in New York didn't like me and wanted a small fortune to dance, I'll continue working odd jobs and enjoying life. What about you, Naruto? She asked. Not sure. I'm trying to find myself right now. Naruto said with a shrug. What about regular school? T asked. Surely you want to at least get a decent education. Naruto shrugged. It's an idea. T could see he was thinking about it. Another game? She asked with a grin. Sure, but not so fast this time. Naruto said, and they went to machine. T was just about to put the tokens in when a hand grabbed her wrist. Hey, not so fast, little girl. She turned to see a big brute and a girl with him sitting on his shoulder. This is our machine. No one was using it earlier, and we've been using it for the last couple hours. T said, and pulled her hand out of the bigger man's grip. Ken, let them have it. The girl on his shoulder said, Nah. We've had this machine since the arcade first put it in. The girl had green hair and pigtails, and couldn't be an older than 9 poked Ken in the side of the head. How about you duel her boyfriend for it then? Naruto choked on air hearing the kid calling him T's boyfriend. Ken sneered. But Suki, he's just a runt. The now identified Suki poked him again. It's the fair thing to do. Besides, you haven't dueled today. He looks weak. T looked at Naruto, who shrugged. Fine, but it's a duel and a dance-off. Ken said, holding up a couple of game tokens. He has to beat me at both the duel and the dance. T looked at Naruto again. Can you do it? Don't know, never done anything else while dueling before. Naruto admitted. We could do something else. T said, and Naruto heard the longing in her voice. He had to admit, she seemed to glow while she danced. No, we had this first, and you're having a good time, right? T nodded that she was. Then I'll win it for you. Naruto said, giving her a fox-like grin, and stepped up. Let's do this. Ken smirked as he pulled out his dual disc and activated it as Naruto did. Both LP counters entered as 8,000. Suki put the tokens in for the machine as both Naruto and Ken shuffled their decks. T flipped a coin with Ken calling tails. It was heads. I'll go second, Naruto said as he and Ken drew 5 cards. Ken nodded as he started dancing, his big feet hitting the pad with a practiced ease, and Naruto was forced to keep up. Ken drew a card and set one monster card face down and another card in the backfield face down. Go short stuff. Naruto nodded and drew a card. He put 2 cards face down in the backfield, his feet hitting the proper sequence as he pulled a monster from his hand. I summoned Vulpix, 3/1200/700 in attack mode. Go Vulpix, he ordered as his feet made the correct arrows. Ken laughed. Nice try. Negate attack, trap/counter. Naruto nodded as he continued to hit the correct button combinations. He saw the dance/duel wasn't easy for Ken either. I am my turn, Naruto said as he continued to follow the patterns on the screen. Ken, 1 face-down monster. Naruto, Vulpix ATK/1200, 2 face-down. Ken's LP, 8,000. Naruto's LP, 8,000. Ken managed to perform a series of twists and turns to hit the proper combination. Even as he turned, he managed to draw his card. I summon Armored Lizard 4/1500/1200 in attack mode. Take out that Vulpix, Ken ordered, and while doing so missed several combinations on the dance pad. Naruto shook his head. I counter with Mirror Force, trap, he said, flipping one of his face-down cards. Ken growled as his armored lizard was destroyed by its own attack, but his face-down monster was still safe. My turn ends. Naruto hit several steps and drew his card. He nodded. I summoned Time Fox, 2/500/400 in attack position, and then used Polymerization, magic. Card Diffuse Time Fox and Vulpix in 1000 Vixen, 7/2400/2000 in attack position. Alright, take out that face-down monster. The giant white-furred nine-tailed fox did just that. The card dissolved in a sparkle of light. I put another face-down in the backfield, and end my turn. Naruto said, Ken, 0 cards. Naruto. 1000 Vixen ATK/2400, 2 face-down. Ken's LP. 8000. Naruto's LP. 8000. Ken focused on the next several dance steps before drawing a card. I summoned Celtic Guardian for /1400/1200 in defense mode and end my turn. Naruto saw that he had a series of difficult dance steps and ended up using a break dance in order to do the combination needed. As he spun to his feet, he drew a card. Naruto looked at the 2 cards he held. I used Pot of Greed, magic, and take 2 cards. He looked at the 3 cards and mentally smiled even as his feet worked to keep with the dance pad. He put the card down. I summoned Fox Raider for /1900/1200 in attack position. The Beast Warrior appeared. The black and gold-furred fox was carrying a wicked-looking axe. Naruto's feet hit 3 out of 4 of the arrows and he groaned, but so far he was keeping up with Ken on the dance game. Fox Raider, attack Celtic Guardian. The Celtic Guardian was destroyed and Naruto looked at 1000 Vixen. 1000 Vixen, direct attack. Ken groaned as the shock hit him. He was shocked as his life points were hit for 2400. I end my turn, Naruto said. He noticed that during the direct attack, Ken had missed a lot of dance moves and his score was dropping. Ken, 0 cards. Naruto. 1000 Vixen ATK/2400. Fox Raider ATK/1900. 2 face down. Ken's LP. 5600. Naruto's LP. 8000. Ken was working hard on his dance pad now, and Naruto could see the bigger man was sweating hard by the time he drew a card. The scowl told Naruto plenty as Ken put a monster card face down and ended his turn. Naruto had a series of steps, and on the last one he drew a card and put it on the field. It was a second Fox Raider for /1900/1200. Let's do this, he said, sending his first Fox Raider that wiped out whatever monster Ken was using as a defender. 1000 Vixen and Fox Raider, direct attack. Ken went to his knees as the shock hit him from the heavy loss of life points. Naruto ended his turn with a spin on the dance pad. Ken, 0 cards. Naruto. 1000 Vixen ATK/2400. 2 Fox Raiders ATK/1900. 2 face down. Ken's LP. 1300. Naruto's LP. 8000. Ken looked irate as he got to his feet and tried to get his rhythm back as he drew a card. The big man smiled. I offer up these 3 cards and use the card Black Luster Ritual, Magic/Ritual, to bring Black Luster Soldier, 8/3000/2500 in attack mode. Soldier, take out 1000 Vixen, go. Naruto blinked and then tapped one of his face-down cards. Not so fast, Ken. I use Fox Shroud, Trap Counter, which is a negate attack. Ken growled as his attack failed, and he ended his turn, content that he would have him next turn. Naruto drew a card. I used the card Forbidden Summoning, Magic/Ritual, and sacrificed my 2 Fox Raiders and summoned QB no Kitsune, 8/3100/200 in attack mode. Ken blinked as if finally putting it together. You're that fox guy? Naruto chuckled. I am QB's effect is activated, and for the next 3 turns your monsters are unable to attack. This ends now. QB, take out Black Luster Soldier. The QB roared and a tail swipe hit, and Ken winced as he took the 100-point difference in the attack powers and watched his greatest monster get wiped out. 1000 Vixen, direct attack, go. Ken dropped to his knees as Vixen's attack wiped out his life points. Ken, 0 cards. Naruto. 1000 Vixen ATK/2400. QB no Kitsune ATK/3100. 2 face down. Ken's LP. 0. Naruto's LP. 8,000. Naruto finished the dance with a flourish, and Ken, unable to move due to the shocks, watched his score like his life points go to 0, and game over flashed on the screen, declaring Naruto the winner. The whisker-marked blonde sighed as he relaxed. So his surprise was something to see when T rushed up and hugged him. That was awesome. Naruto blinked when she backed up and recounted not only the dance, but the duel with each move. He smiled at how she put her whole body into it. Mr. Fox. T stopped talking as Naruto looked at Suki, who was helping Ken to his feet. Good match? Naruto offered his hand to the big man. You had me beat from the word go, didn't you? Ken said, regaining his feet. If I would have known who you were, you would have taken me more seriously. Naruto said, it's one of the reasons I avoid cameras so far. I like the element of surprise. Ken nodded. Well, a deal's a deal. The machine is yours. Naruto looked at T. You rest. I'll play with Suki if she don't mind. Really? The green-haired girl asked. T nodded and handed Naruto a bottle of water. I'll be back, she said, and Naruto watched her go, taking a seat at the juice bar. Ken joined him. You got one heck of a girlfriend there. She's not my girlfriend. Really? Ken said, ordering a drink. The way she watches you, I'm surprised. What do you mean? Naruto asked. Suki told me she was watching every move you made. Naruto blinked and turned to watch T. She does have a certain glow when she's enthusiastic. He thought. Good mate, strong mate. QB suggested. How do you know Fuzzy? Naruto thought. She smells. Naruto was about to ask what the hell that meant when T and Suki rejoined them. T took his drink and guzzled it, her hair and skin sporting sweat from the workout she just had. You're very good at this, Suki, she said, sitting next to Naruto. Thank you. Ken brings me here several times a week, the green-haired girl said, regaining her place on Ken's shoulder. Suki then looked at Naruto. You better be nice to your girlfriend, or else I'll be upset with you. Naruto sputtered and T laughed as Ken stood and wished them a good day. You know, T said, Suki gave me several ideas. Oh. T led him away from the games and had a smirk on her face. I'll tell you over dinner. She laughed as Naruto stumbled. Steamship. Rin looked at the cards as she organized them. She had to admit it was an interesting game and a safer way to wage battles. Will I miss my time as a ninja? No, she thought as she held the mystical elf girl, and she was putting together a deck she thought would work. Shame the crew isn't allowed to play. Rin thought. She'd been playing a mock duel, playing both sides, and seeing the differences when putting different cards against one another. I hope Naruto's okay. Cammy, I was a fool to believe the Hokage would be able to handle the village. She had taken the deep cover mission with the understanding that Naruto would be safe. Now he's beyond the veil and has no one to care for him. Who am I kidding? He grew up alone the whole time. I hope Sensei and Kushina can forgive me when I die. She shuffled more cards and looked at the necklace stone. The dot on it was getting bigger, meaning she was heading the right way. Cammy, this journey is a long one. 15 days each way. She shuffled her deck and set it aside. Thus far, she'd managed to make 2 decks she liked. The rest she would put in a storage scroll. She'd read the files on Naruto while she waited at Kahaku's, and she was sad at how little the academy had taught him. The file from Iruka indicated that Naruto could read and write, but seemed to avoid all his tests. Not like they would have given him a fair shot. Iruka admitted that despite his trying, he also would ridicule Naruto before the other students. Rin sighed. I have a lot of explaining to do. I just hope and pray Naruto gives me a chance. Rin's hands were shuffling cards while her mind was across the ocean and resting on a blonde boy with whisker marks.